Hey y'all, so in another Aurora Playsuit, this is the Cami version in the shorts. The first step is going to be to sew your strap. So you're going to take your strap piece and fold it in half lengthwise with the right sides together, and you're going to stitch it together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You can add some clear elastic to the seam at this step for some added support, or you can slip some elastic inside the strap after you turn it. And using your favorite turning tool, just flip your straps right side out and give it a nice press and set them aside. And you're going to take your 2 front pieces and you're going to put them right sides together, aligning the raw edges and notches, and you will stitch them together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then you'll do the same thing with your back pieces. Put both back pieces right sides together, aligning the raw edges and notches, and stitch it together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then again, you're going to do the same thing with your front shelf bra pieces and your back shelf bra pieces, putting them right sides together and stitching them down the center with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then we're going to sew the front and back together. So you're going to put the back piece on top of the front piece with the right sides together, aligning those raw edges, and you will sew it all the way down each side with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, creating the side seams. And then you're going to take your shelf bra pieces and put those right sides together, the front and back, and then sew along each short end, creating the side seams with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then, keeping your main pieces right sides together, you're going to sew the inseam. So just match that center front seam on the front and back, match the leg line, and then sew them together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Then you can set that aside while we finish the shelf bra. You'll take your shelf bra elastic and fold it in half, and then overlap the ends by a 1/2 inch and zigzag them a few times to hold it in place. Then take your band and put it right sides together, and you will sew the short ends with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then you're going to take your elastic and place it over your band and fold the band around the elastic and closing it. And I'm going to 1/4 the band, and then with the right side of the band to the wrong side of the shelf bra, I'm going to match those band 1/4 points to the side seam, the center front seam, the other side seam, and the center back seam. Then you will stretch that band to fit the shelf bra and stitch the band to the shelf bra with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Once it's sewn, you can pull the band away from the shelf bra, give it a nice press, and top stitch it if you'd like. Now we're going to grab one strap, and with the right side of the strap to the right side of the bodice, you're going to pin the strap to the pickup, and you're going to take the other side of the same strap and with right sides together, match it to the back bodice at that strap marking that you have on your pattern piece. And then you'll take this to your sewing machine and you're going to baste each strap in place along the front and the back. I have my main bodice wrong side out and my shelf bra right side out, and I'm going to tuck my straps inside and then place the shelf bra inside so it is right sides together. And I'm going to match and nest each seam, and I'm going to pin the shelf bra so the top of the shelf bra and the main pieces all align. And after I have it pinned in place, I'm going to sew the shelf bra to the main, and those straps should be sandwiched between. I like to sew each pickup first, and then the neckline, the center front neckline, and then the rest. And you're going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You can add some clear elastic to this seam if you want to add a little bit of support, or if your fabric doesn't have great recovery. Then I'm going to pull the shelf bra away from the main piece, and I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to understitch this neckline, so I'm pushing the seam toward the shelf bra and then top stitching it in place. Now you won't be able to get all the way to each pickup, but you just want to go as close as you can on each side of the strap and at the center front neckline, and understitch as far as you can so that the shelf bra doesn't peek out from the lining while you're wearing it. The final step is going to be to hem each leg line. So I'm going to press a 1/2 of an inch toward the wrong side and then edge stitch it in place along each leg. And after you have it hemmed, your playsuit is complete. If you have any questions, you can leave them down below and I will try to answer. As always, if you make a playsuit, we would love to see them posted in our Facebook group or tag us on Instagram at Made for Mermaids, #Made for Mermaids Patterns.